Married a Soka Gakkai girl without knowing. Help. I have so many unanswered questions and I don't know what's going on, so I'll start from the beginning. I came to Japan more than 2 years ago and met a girl. We hit it off and decided to marry fairly quickly. I've now been married for a year and she's perfect, extremely caring, understanding, and polite. While we were still not married, I asked her if she had a religion, just a normal date question. She said no, which I liked since I'm not religious or spiritual at all. I met her parents and apparently they were also not religious. We married and lived together. My family came all the way across the world to meet her family. And I remember my father asking her father if they're religious. Amongst other questions, if they were religious, we wouldn't even bat an eye. It's just a normal question. But my wife's father said they're not. And my wife also told my parents she doesn't have any religion. Spoiler alert, she is religious and her whole family is. About a half year ago, she came to me and said, I have to confess something. She told me at first she was a Buddhist and stuff, and that she believed in Nichiren, etc., etc. Me as a foreigner in Japan doesn't know anything about it, so I thought she was just a Buddhist. Obviously, I was pissed and shocked that she and her whole family basically just lied to me and my family. Later on, she would then say she's not a Buddhist, but believe in something called SGI or Soka Gakkai. At the time, I've never heard of it. I wasn't alarmed by it, except for that she lied to me, but the weird thing was that right away she was like, but it's not bad religion, and, but we are not crazy. Even though I didn't say anything, so obviously this makes me curious and suspicious. So I asked her why she lied about not telling me her religion, and she told me that she believed I wouldn't marry her, or I would hate her if she told me from the beginning. I wouldn't have. She basically said she had been chanting an hour per time, 2 times a day, every morning before I woke up, without me knowing. I believe her mom and dad pressured her into telling me because they're always texting and have some sort of local group chat with other members. I didn't know what to do with this situation, so I just accepted it. I started looking it up online and asking my friends about SGI. I felt there must be something wrong with this religion. Why else did she seem so worried about telling me? She was also extremely anxious and panicky when I told my parents on the phone that she believed in something called SGI, saying that my parents might hate her because of it, despite my parents having no clue about this religion. Basically, every answer I got from friend and from online was negative. But there's never been an explanation to why it's negative. I heard things about it being a cult and stuff. My wife also now just openly chants in our house. Twice a day, she tried to get me to join her, but I'm not about to do that. I told her it's her freedom to do so, but honestly, I don't like it. When she's chanting, it kind of creeps me out and sounds frankly quite cringe. The sound she makes is kind of like one sentence, but she repeats it for an hour really rapidly. I asked my wife to tell me what this religion was, but she said she didn't know how to explain. So she asked members of the local SGI organization to come over to our house and explain to me. They were all nice elderly people, but they obviously tried to recruit me into it with gifts and books and stuff. Also, I had tons of questions like, why would my wife hide her religion? And why do I read so much negativity about this online? My wife's parents and the people she invited to our home were basically very dismissive and were just like, oh, they're just haters, but it's all fake. SGI is good. Just a lot of Japanese people spread lies about our religion. So I never got an answer to my questions. A few months later, my wife and her parents wanted us to have some kind of altar or shrine dedicated to the religion in our home. So I had to go with her and her parents to a local church-like building. Many people were there, and they were all quite nice. I just didn't really know what was going on. They congratulated me on marrying, and some members exchanged contact with me. Then guess what? The person who turned out to be the leader of this local organization is my wife's father. He started giving speeches and talking about a guy called Ikeda Sensei. Some people started cheering aggressively or crying when his picture was shown on the TV. Reminded me of what you see about North Korea. After that, all people started chanting the same way my wife did. I felt extremely uncomfortable and weird. I'm just sitting there while everyone makes these sounds. One of the guys sitting next to me was like, it's okay, just copy after me. So I politely refused, saying I was shy, while in reality I was just extremely cringed. After that, we got the shrine, which is now set up in our home, and my wife prays to it daily. Some of the guys that I exchange contact with message me once in a while to ask me out to go to a religious meeting, but I refuse every time. A few times me and my wife got into an argument about this, like, she gets extremely defensive when I asked her about why this religion is considered controversial. She also mentioned that she wants our kids to go to these meetings as soon as they're born. I'm strongly against that. Every time we argue about this religion, she also says, maybe you shouldn't have married an SGI girl like me, to which I reply maybe I shouldn't. She then always immediately regrets saying it and goes like, "Pias, don't leave me, etc., etc." It annoys me that she always brings up divorce when I tell her I don't like her religion, but she then immediately regrets it and doesn't want to actually divorce. I don't want either. At this point, I'm obviously very much against SGI since it's causing us arguments in our marriage. Really needed to get this off my chest. I'm just at a point where I don't know what to do, and I still don't even know why everything is so secretive. If someone here has any knowledge about these people and can tell me what I got into, please let me know. Seriously worried if I married into some weird doomsday cult or something. How deep into the poop am I? Edit. So about my wife's personality, she is extremely understanding and caring. She's the kind of girl that wakes up early and prepares my coffee before I wake up, or before I come back home from work without even me asking. She works 9 to 6 and still does house chores, fold my clothes, and plays video games and movies with me that I know she's not interested in. Obviously, I'm helping out as much as possible too. I feel guilty about her trying to do so much, and I rather she gets some rest, but she never does and always insists saying that it's her responsibility as a wife. She doesn't blame me for some of my hobbies that other girls might be upset about, for example, gaming 8 hours straight. She doesn't seem to have any opinion of her own and always seems to go with my opinions and decisions. She always asks me if I'm all right with things like her bringing the shrine into our home. I don't want to disrespect her and her family, so I accept it. Also, her family are extremely helpful, like her parents support us a lot, even financially. I've seen a lot of comments from people saying that they might get me to donate or go after my money, but so far that hasn't been the case. If anything, they're more donating to me and my wife. We never really argue since she always agrees with my opinion. Except for this religion thing, however, after every argument she always is the person that apologizes to me and begs me not to leave her. I never tried or said I'd leave her, even though I was in the wrong sometimes, so she definitely is wife material to me. It's just the secrecy about everything that confuses me. Comment 1. I'd say that's a cult, but there are worse ones. But that's not the real question. The real question is whether it's a deal breaker to you. Ultimately, you're the only one with the answer for that. Realistically, you have 3 options. Divorce before it gets worse. Maintain statu quo. They will try to convert you gradually. Note that this option is not possible once you have children. If they are integrated into the religion, they can become the bargaining chip and force you against divorce, which leads you to convert to their religion. Getting her back to agnosticism or atheism would be a waste of energy. She would be shunned by her family and peers. It just won't happen. I'd go for 1, as she and her family openly lied to your face in order to get married. That would be the deal breaker for me. Comment 2. Wait till you see how much of your family income will be heading their way. Comment 3. Well, the good news is that it doesn't seem to be a doomsday cult, in the sense that they're very unlikely to go and all commit ritual suicide anytime soon. That's really not happening there. The bad news is you married a lady who has 0 issues lying to you if it's convenient for her, and she wants to bring up your kids in that religion. Doesn't look like you're going to convince her away from there. So, up to you to decide how much religious fervor, let's say, you're happy to put up with in your life. I'd ask how much money she's giving the cult, and I'd watch your stash of condoms. Comment 4. Soka Gakkai is a new religion sect cult founded in 1930, and it grew in post-WWW Japan. It has been controversial among other reasons for the coercive ways they got converts and funds. The land and buildings they have in many neighborhoods are not cheap. These methods have relaxed a little bit, but the not-so-distant history is in everyone's mind. They are active overseas with SGI Soka University, etc. There is also a very close relation with the Komeito political party. Google more. And visit Shinanomachi in Shinjuku to see the three colors everywhere. Comment 5. I'd get a divorce ASAP if I were you. Comment 6. The Jehovah's Witnesses of Buddhism. Have fun with that. Comment 7. OP. I grew up in a cult. I hatched my escape when I was allowed to attend university outside of the country. Became rebellious after experiencing a different way of life. Having a lot of questions about the sanctimonious bullshit spewed to me my whole entire childhood, while those spewing it did deplorable things and got excommunicated as a result. There's family members, some dead and alive, that I haven't spoken to in over a decade and will never until they leave that hellish cult. You definitely don't want that manipulative, brainwashing nonsense for your kids. The damage can be profound. Exit while you still can. Comment 8. You either join or sit by as further onion layers get peeled off. Do you share finances with your wife? Does she have access to your bank accounts? I reckon the next reveal will be financial in nature. Comment 9. Hate to say it, but you are a poster child for one of the reasons why people are turned off by the Soka Gakkai. They are known for being highly aggressive in their recruitment methods, such as emotionally manipulating and coercing their targets into joining. I wouldn't be shocked if your wife and her family were hoping to use some sunk cost logic. I've invested so much time in the relationship with my wife, so I might as well join to make everyone happy in trying to recruit you after marriage and keeping it secret until now. Comment 10. She misrepresented herself as a non-religious person. That alone is a big enough lie to call it off over, I think. Comment 11. I don't think you love her at all, Lowell. I think you love her because she's convenient made. All this talk about perfect wifey, and not a single word describing what you like about her, except the things she did for you. For what it's worth, both of you are using each other. Edit. The more I read, the more I'm convinced that you love her not as a person, but as mindless maid. You love her because she don't complain about your long-term gaming session. You love her because she always try to understand you. You love because she doesn't have any opinion and do as she's told. You love her because she make you breakfast, fold your clothes, and do the cleaning. What do you know of her as a person? As someone. As a person and not as a housemaid. You called perfect wifey. You also complain about her family while still reaping the benefits, especially the money, Lowell. I don't condemn her lying. Obviously, lying, especially in marriage, is a dead giveaway for divorce. And obviously, you don't even intend to leave her, and what benefits she brings to the table, so I don't even understand why you are posting here. Both of you are using each other. You can deny it all you want, but you are also using her and her family privileges. Comment 12. Dude, you chose this on purpose. Why would you get married to someone who has no opinion? AD also, you were wrong about it at the same time because obviously religion-wise she has an opinion and she does not really care about yours. You got the stereotype of a white guy coming to Japan for a traditional wife. If you don't want to be an SGI, you have two options. Make your wife leave or leave your wife. Comment 13. Dude, do not have sex with her. She will get pregnant and then you'll be stuck. Just divorce her. She and her family lied to your face. She is not the person you fell in love with. She's not the person you think you married. Comment 14. The issue is not that her or her family are SGI. The issue is that she lied to you, and the basis of the lie was that she didn't think you would marry her. Bottom line is that you can't trust her or her family. If she and family had been upfront with you from the beginning, maybe you could have worked through it. But this pattern of lying is alarming. Here is basically the same scenario again. She says something to you about parenting or how you'll raise your kids. After the baby is born, you learn it was a lie. When you ask her why she lied, she says, I was afraid you wouldn't have this baby with me. Cycle repeats. That's a horror show. When you divorce her, be clear. You have little knowledge or opinion about SGI, but that is not the reason for leaving her. The reason is that your marriage is on the basis of lies, and you simply cannot trust her. Comment 15. I used to date a girl that was into Soka Gakkai, but she never hid it from me. We never got to discussing marriage or kids, but Like you, I read how negatively it's looked upon online. Wanting to be a supportive BF, I accompanied her to one of the meetings, and to me it seemed like more of a community that supported each other. They even had a guy that translated the whole thing for me. The bigger issue is your wife and her family hiding such a major thing from you and yours.